One. Boy, pretty close. That's a small circle. 150. Well, we're just going to stem these. You've seen me pick them if you've been following along. And there's a little dust and dirt on them, not bad, but let them ripen. Just stemming them, giving them a quick wash in a little cool water bath, and then just kind of dry them out and, oops, wrong ones here, stemming. Dry them out, put them in bags, put them in the freezer, and if you want to make soup or if you decide to can them at a later date or do salsas or anything like that, you just take them out of the freezer and put them in just a bowl of warm water. Just drop them in there for 30 seconds and you just give them a squeeze and the skin just pops right off. No blanching them first before you freeze them, burning your fingers. Just freeze them and then, yeah, just a quick thaw out. And as soon as they thaw just a tiny little bit, very little, you just give them a squeeze and the skin pops off. If you have to take any, little markings, whatever you can pick off while they're froze. And it goes very quick, so that's what we're doing today. We're just going to get the rest. They're starting to ripen pretty fast. I have about 30 pounds probably to go through, and I probably have 30 pounds or so to go pick yet. I'm going to be back out in the greenhouse a little bit later, so we'll show you what else is out there. Hasn't froze yet, so. We always have a few bread bags kicking around. See some nice big ones. Just fill them up. Put a zip tie on them. So you don't have room for them all. I'll be able to tie it. Maybe a couple more in this one. So there you go. If you're going to make chili or something, you can just take out half a dozen, throw them in a bowl, give them a little rinse, pull the skins off, and you got your tomatoes in your chili. Or in your stew. That's what I do. I had lots of little tomatoes I planted before last year. If you go back through the videos, I had pails and pails of little tomatoes, and the year before that too. And I don't mind. The skins are really small. I just throw the whole thing in the pot. I never bothered picking the skins out. But with the big ones, it's not hard. Just give them a quick, you see some of them, they get little spots on them, markings, whether it's bugs crawled on them or from branches touching them. But when you skin them, all that comes off. So, yeah, it's knife handy just to nip the stem part out that don't come off when you rinse it, and no burning your fingers. Just, that's the way I look after most of my tomatoes. If I get time before this is all done, I may can. I do like to put some in jars, and that's what I use for tomato soup. I just smush them all up really good, leave them kind of chunky, but mush them up really good, and I can them, and then I just take a jar out and making tomato soup. If you've never done it before, remember tomatoes have acid, so I always dump my jar into a pot, and as it starts to warm, before it goes into a boil, before you add milk, you take about a quarter of a teaspoonful of baking soda and just throw it in your tomatoes and stir it around. It'll foam up. If you do it when your tomatoes are boiling, it'll probably go right over the pot, but you stir it up and it'll foam up. It kills the acid. Once you've stirred it around for a minute or two, then you dump your milk in, you stir it all in, and your milk goes sour. If you dump tomatoes out of a jar into a pot and dump milk into them, they will curdle because of the acid in the tomatoes. So just a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda, it settles the acid, you make a tomato soup. That's the way I do it. So you can believe me or not believe me, that's up to you. But that's the way I do it. Some people do it a little different, but you got to kill the acid. So anyways, I got to back at some more chores. So we'll catch you guys back in a little bit. Put these tomatoes in the freezer. Yeah, it looks good. Piece of toast. Gonna taste good. Well, guys, this back in the porch. Oh, we got another all kinds of little things to do. And then once I get that done, I can get on with the rest. but I want to get the door in, but I have to put a couple little studs, and I want to put them in here. Now, I'm holding one of these. You can pronounce that. Oh, Elic Live. Elic Live. I'm going to tell you why it's live. There's a whole bunch of digital stuff here, and I can measure, and as any other tape measure, if you're backing it up against the wall to measure across to the other side, you account for the tape measure, and you know how long your tape measure is. This one here, it actually has a laser in it, and settings here. I don't know if you can see this, but it has a laser in the front, so we can turn that laser on, and we're going to just set it. Oh, I got some measurements. Now, it will give me 3 different measurements or 4 different measurements there, so I can take each one if I want, and it remembers. If I just set that tape measure, push the button, and push it again, and we are high side 16 3/4 of an inch. Now, I did not pull the tape measure out. There is a 16-foot manual tape measure on here as well. I'm going to just move over to the next one here, and I'm going to just set it right where I want the stud to sit. Laser's on, push it a second time, and it measures, and we have 13 3/8 on there. We have one more over here that's very short, so I'm going to try and show you. It's right above the window. It's very short, but I can set my tape measure in there, hit the measurement, laser's on, hit it, it says measure, and we're too close. It won't give us a measurement. We're a wee bit too close. We're going to come back to the center of the window, and we're going to laser on, and we measure it at 9 1/4 inches. Right in the center of the window. Oh, I got off there. I'm going to just clear that one because I want to be right in line with the stud down below. So, laser on. I don't know if you can see the laser light right there. We push that center button, says measure, and we go on exactly 9 1/2. The other thing, this little tape measure, it's smart, has a USB plug-in on the back here. You can plug this into your power station or into your house with your USB. Now here's your settings. I'm measuring. I want to clear it. I can clear it or I can shut it off. But I push this once, the laser comes on, push it the second time, and it gives me a measurement. It stores the measurements there until I shut it off or delete them. The other thing this tape measure has is really handy that most don't have, is you pull this tape measure out. Look, it's not going back in. On the front there's a button, not to lock it, but when you push the button in, the tape measure goes in. If you don't push the button, it stays out for you wherever you want it. Unlike most of the others, when you push the button to unlock them, they go in so fast that it snaps fingers, cuts your fingers. So we're doing a little collaboration, and so there's got the name there you can read. And on this side, the settings. And like I said, it's got a 16-foot manual tape measure, so you can check measurements yourself if you want. You can measure, make a mark, then set the very back of the tape measure at that mark. And it will measure exactly with the laser length of board you need. So I've measured here for the long side of these cuts because they're going to have a little angle cut, and they will drop right into place. I've actually took that measurement, and 16 and there's our 16 3/4. So on this mark, if we pull the tape measure out and we run right up the side so that we're straight where I need to be beside the stud, as you can see right there, we are 16 3/4 of an inch. Oh, we're leaning just a little, but yeah, 16 3/4 of an inch give us, and that way these little doodads here where I can nail this one once it's insulated, I have something to nail my board to. So So that's, there'll be a description, a link in the description. There'll be a link in the comments. Probably get that out to you, and all the other details where you can get yours. There's a couple of links. There's a discount code in there, you know, they're not expensive. These are not expensive, and rechargeable, like I said, for the USB on there to recharge it. And the book tells you pretty clear which buttons are for which, but it's pretty simple just to, like I said, get your measurements. You know, I got the measurements. We've been playing around measuring, and the measurements are all still right there. So I can go out and I can use the manual tape measure, and I can measure the board. I can cut the boards and bring them in, and my measurements are already there. 3 of them at a time. That's all I can remember anyway, usually one. So if I can take 3 measurements at a time and go to the saw, get it measured. Well, I've been ignoring Ginger. I've been busy, and so she just came and stole a piece of my wood here. Now she's going to chew it all up. Ginger, what are you doing? That is mine. You bring it back. You bring it back. Hey, bring it back. I need that. No, bring it back. Bring the stick back. You turkey, go get that stick. Go get that. I just cut it and I need it. You bring it here. Bring it here. Bring it. Bring it, girl. Come on. Get it back here. No, no, over here. Over here. Over here. Bring it here. Well, she tries to follow along and help where she can, but sometimes she's a thief. No, as long as she don't start stealing my tools or my mittens, I'm okay. She's good that way, but she sure likes turning on her piece of wood. So this little tape measure, like I say, it says laser distance is actually 197 feet. I just shot a laser from here to that spruce tree behind by my wood pile, and it was in inches, and it's 464 inches to that tree. Now the laser was pretty faint. No, that's only 30 feet, 25 feet. So if it's dark enough, the laser will shoot quite a ways, but most of us don't really work in the dark, but yeah, it's not very heavy. There's settings, there's sound, it'll beep when you know it's measured. There's up, down measurements. The menu, you can change this from inches to feet or to centimeters. You can change it into metric standard. It's options hold, we're in feet times 2. So, doing different angle, I don't know if you can see that, but it gives you a little angle deal up in the corner here. So the distance between 2 angles and the laser will shoot that out. But it's very light. It's got a very nice sturdy clip for hooking on your pants. Don't make my pants fall down because it's not too heavy. But this is the Elite Live LTM01. So if that's just a little information there, I'll put that in the link there, so you know what it is if you're interested in getting one. Like I said, very nice tape measure to have around the house. I mean, if it dies, just plug it into your USB, charge it up, use the laser part of it, or use the manual part that doesn't pinch your fingers if you don't push the button too quick. But so hope you all enjoy. But I have another project. We're going to get to that shortly. You probably won't see it till the next video, but I have some modifications to do. So I have to pull the bottom apart, and I have to take about 4 inches off. Not because I measured wrong, but I have before. But that hole up there, because I put the slope and because I didn't want a step up to go into the cabin from the porch, I kept the floor up a little higher. That means in order for the roof, the ceiling to go in and all that, the door has to be a little shorter. and it just ain't going to fit. They don't build doors that way. So if you buy a door, then you have to modify it, or you just got to build your own. So we're going to modify this one. We're just going to cut it off. No, looks like going to be toilet repairs today. Water's coming, but it's coming very slow. Something's wrong. Well, going to need a bucket. That hasn't been off the bottom of there for 11 years, so we'll see what happens. Well, the line came off, so see if we can get the rest of this. See how much water we can get on the floor. Oh, there she comes. Ah, come on. Yep, I figured it was going to make a mess. Let's get this nut out of the way. Maybe it'll go straight down then. That's better. Let's see what the problem is. See if I can take this guy out. See, I have a lot of hard iron in my water, so I think we corroded up a little bit or something. We're going to just check it out. Why do we do that? Why do we always build toilets and put them in the corner? It's crazy. Let's see if we can get this back together. I tried to clean it, so I got some pretty good cleaner. Tried to clean it as much as I can. Can't get your hands and your head in where you need. Yeah, let's see if we can do this without breaking it. It's pretty tight. Well, we will hope for the best. Now, how tight do we make it so it don't leak? Yeah, just snug it a little bit. I forgot a couple of things in here. Oh, the water bubbling. It's coming. Maybe we fixed it. We'll check for leaks. Yeah, years of water with a lot of iron. You just get a little brown film. Takes a little extra cleaner, but you don't have to haul it. Maybe. Got to make sure it shoots straight. Well, we took a couple shots. The sight her in. We hit the, oh yeah, we did too. A little bit high, that one. Boy, pretty close. That's a small circle. 150 yards. I think that bear will be dead. Or the moose. Whichever I run across.